Did I say my first day in the title? I meant my first 2 days. It just didn't sound as interesting. But you know what is interesting other than my title? The editor competition I am doing in my Discord server before shutting it down. So if you would like to edit for me for my last 14 videos, or at least most of them, there's a link in the description for a form, and if you want to watch the drama unfold and take part in the vote where we choose who will become my editor, make sure you join the Discord server because it's shutting down a week and a half from now. I also go through all of my applications every Wednesday and Sunday, so I'm gonna go through it tonight. I mean, I finish work at like 10, so as soon as I finish, I'm gonna be going through them, but just apply as soon as you can, and you have a better chance of being entered, especially if you apply during a Wednesday or a Sunday. Next Wednesday will be the last application date. All of the other applications will be last-minute applications that I likely won't look up, so don't take any risks and apply as soon as possible if you're interested. So, my uni has been, quite frankly, a mess. Now, I'm obviously not going to reveal what uni I'm going to because I care. Now, I basically just went into the building because there were a couple things with my enrollment that I hadn't completed, which were kind of stressing me out because I was worried about not being able to get my student loans through, because that basically would have resulted in me basically being booted out of the uni and left on the sides of the streets to beg for money so that I could actually afford uni. Or I could have just reapplied. But that's long. But the thing is, I went in at 9, and it's about an hour away from where I live, so I left the house at like 7:45 because I needed to get something to eat for breakfast as well. It was basically a long day. I woke up at like 6, then it was long, and I didn't sleep the whole night. Did I mention that? So I basically felt like, I don't even know, like I just had the biggest headache and I was so tired all day, which was not very good for your first day. If anything, if you're gonna be starting uni in the next few years, what I would recommend is literally go to sleep halfway through the last day. Because if you're not going to be able to fall asleep because of the excitement, you're not going to be in a good place. Oh, and I blame bath salts. Bath salts prevented me from sleeping. I don't know, man. So after this whole kerfuffle was done, after I'd waited an hour, turns out I queued up in the wrong place. And then I also had to go to a different building. So I basically just sat there for like an hour, looking through a glass wall that was it's not really a wall, it's like a window in the place of a wall. But the staff in the office, which I was waiting to open, were literally just staring at me as if like they were like, oh god, this guy's here early, he means serious business, and then I just left. But I managed to sort everything out fairly quickly, and honestly, the lady that processed everything for me, she was great. She was really, really nice and helpful. But then came the time where I had nothing to do. So there was an online event at 12, which, I mean, spoiler alert, I didn't end up attending because someone told me it was boring, but I'll get to that. But at the time, I was thinking, you know what? This was like around 10:15. I was thinking, I've got plenty of time. I should be able to, you know, just get myself lunch, let me go and walk around the campus. I'd already walked around campus before the term started, like 2 weeks ago. I went on another walk just to make sure that I'd gotten the locations of everywhere in my head, and yeah, I pretty much remembered where everything was, which is actually kind of good, seeing as my campus isn't exactly the most straightforward campus. I don't want to explain it too much though, because I feel like it could be quite easily recognizable, so I'm going to avoid speaking about it. Anyways, there was like this courtyard place where I ended up settling for lunch. I forgot to make my own sandwich that day because, actually no, I didn't forget, I wasn't able to, so I was like, you know what, let me just go and get my own food, because at the Tesco Express near my house, they usually make bread whenever it's like 8:30ish, and like I said, I left at 7:45, and that's when I left, so it wasn't really something I was able to make. And yeah, I basically ended up getting the most creative sandwich possibly imaginable, dare I say. It was a literal marvel. A plain cheddar cheese sandwich. So like, one slice of white bread, a thick slab of cheddar cheese, and another slice of white bread. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I like both cheddar cheese and obviously bread. However, when there's no condiments, bread, for example, is one of the driest foods possible. And then there's cheddar cheese, which is even drier, which is quite weird for a cheese, but it's a dry cheese. I mean, it's a British cheese. What do you expect? Dry like the humour. Can't speak for the climate, though. The climate's horrible. It rains all the time. Which actually, speaking of which, this reminded me, this was the first day in the last 11 years where I've gone to school, because I used to be homeschooled before I started going to school in year 4. Literally, for the last 10 years before this year, it was always cloudy on my first day. I don't know why, but I've always liked that for some reason. I'm not really the biggest fan of cloudy weather. I like rainy weather, I just don't like cloudy weather, because it's like the weather's just pouting. It doesn't want to rain, but it's like angry anyway. It's really annoying. So it felt really weird to me that on my first day yesterday, it was literally a summer day in September, which is really weird. I mean, August was pretty much September weather for us, but now September's summer weather. It's really strange. Just let fall start. It's my favorite season, please. Or autumn. I don't know. I've started calling it fall more lately because I kind of like how the word fall sounds compared to autumn. Autumn's a nice word too, though. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, I had this dry sandwich, and I don't know how I managed to swallow it. I'm not gonna lie. It literally felt like it was clinging onto my tongue, let alone my esophagus. But I had water, thankfully, and it was barely enough. Like, the water in of itself, like, water not allowing food to go down your, esophagus, which is like the other tube in your throat that isn't the windpipe. Basically where the food goes down. It felt really weird. It was like the driest sandwich I've ever had in my life. But I managed to persevere, and there was about an hour and a half left to this meeting that I never attended. Now, I started looking around to see if there was anyone that would be interesting to interact with, and I was literally on Discord talking to, my friends, talking like, let me try and socialize, and then I saw this one guy, and I'm just gonna put screenshots up here and there. It was just kind of funny. I was kind of panicking, but I kind of tried to make it humorous. I don't know, that's kind of the way I deal with stress. I usually make light of a situation because it basically forces me to be optimistic, so it basically enables me to not feel as stressed over something because I see the funny side. But I ended up finally building up to courage to go up to this one guy, which for the purposes of this video, because I don't know if he would be comfortable with his name being revealed, I'm gonna refer to him as Rango. And if he does end up watching this video, because that's slightly a high probability because we ended up talking about YouTube channels and stuff, he has one as well, and yeah, it's possible that he might see this, but I don't know. Anyway, so Rango and I just sat there for like half an hour or so, and he told me that someone told him that the whole online thing was boring, so I decided not to join. I pretty much saw what was coming anyway. They would tell us, oh, welcome to this uni, and then just blabber on about stuff that would have been repeated on the future days anyway. Like, I've literally, today, which is Tuesday actually, so the day before this is coming out, I've had so many things happening, but I'm gonna get back to that. This is a long video. Hopefully not too long though. I'm hoping around 20 to 25 minutes. No more than 25 for sure. Hopefully less than 20. I'm making this longer, aren't I? Then he told me that he had a friend on Discord that was also going to the uni, so we ended up finding him, and for the purposes of this video, we're gonna call him Hamburger. I don't know why anyone would be called that, but his name is now Hamburger. Again, we talk YouTube channels as well, like, he's probably gonna see this as well, that would be funny. Rango and Hamburger. Oh god, there's so many people I met as well. How many nicknames am I gonna come up with? I feel like I should probably give the uni a code name as well at this point. Let's just call it the overrated school. But like, not my overrated school, the overrated school. That's like the name. I go to the overrated school, not an overrated school. Anyways, so us three decided to take a tour of the overrated school, and it was kind of cool. Like, the campus is quite big. It's not the biggest, I don't think, but it's big enough for it to be quite exciting, and I'm not gonna describe it much again, but I really like the campus. I'm a big fan. Now, the reason why we did end up doing this was because at the opposite side of the campus from where we were, which is, like, I don't know what its actual name is. I'm just gonna call it, like, the square, because it's kind of square-shaped and it makes sense. We decided to go from there to the sports hall, which is where something called the Freshers Fair was running. Now, this is basically, like, an event where people get to see societies and they get to go on a fun fair ride. For some reason, like, just imagine 18 to 20-year-olds on their first day of uni just bouncing on a bouncy castle. Like, I mean, it's one way to make memories, but then again, 18 to 20-year-olds. There's obviously some people that are way older than that in some cases, but, the majority of people are in that age bracket. Anyways, the queue for that, though, was really long, and we literally went, like, 15 minutes after it was meant to start at 12, so basically we gave up. And we walked back around, and yeah, we just sat in the library for a while. The library is amazing. Again, I don't want to describe it, even though I really want to, but I'm not going to. It's not a matter of not wanting to, it's a matter of not doing so because I care about privacy, believe it or not. Who'd have thought the guy that doesn't show his face on his videos on purpose is the kind of guy that cares about privacy? Shocker. So yeah, we walked around campus a couple more times, and it turns out that this other guy, Hamburger, also takes the train with me. So yeah, we just took the train, it was fun, and yeah, my day ended. But day 2 was quite a lot different, because in day 1, I'd met 2 people, and technically a third over Discord. I'm gonna call him... Oh, what could I call him? I'm gonna call him Weeb, because he is a weeb. I don't even know. Like, I've got a headache right now. I can't come up with names. So, Weeb and I actually met today. So, him and Rango came in together. But I'm gonna get... Now, on the second day, this was the day where I actually had a couple lectures. Like, not really like proper lectures, but just taster lectures where they just introduced us to the school. It was like an induction session. And the first one I had, we actually got sent to the wrong building. So we had an email telling us to go to one building, but the building was completely different. I don't know why the email said the different building. Like, not a building code, because at my uni we do have building codes, and a lot of them are kind of similar. But like actual building names, they wrote the names in full, so there was no way you could get it wrong. But somehow they still managed. So yeah, like 30 of us just managed to go into the computer lab, which was not where we were meant to go. We were meant to go to a lecture hall. And at the beginning, I was basically lost. I had no idea where to go. And the first person I had seen was a guy that I'm gonna call Tom. His name is not Tom. I don't know why I thought of Tom. I mean, I don't know anyone that's called Tom. At least not yet, so yeah, that's fine. And yeah, we were both lost, and then we found other people, and we managed to find our way there. So that all ended up good, but it turns out that was the wrong way, because already getting into the computer lab was hard enough, because we had to get in through a fire exit for some reason. But then we ended up having to, well, just go back to this lecture hall, but it was a cool lecture. The guy there was, the lecturer was kind of emotional, because it was the first lecture he'd done in person since literally the beginning of last year. So I can sympathize for him. Like, you can tell that a lecturer really likes their job, because it's not like you're teaching kids necessarily. Like, it's generally a lot more enjoyable because you have a lot less telling off to do. So I can definitely, have compassion for that. But as soon as that ended, I had no idea where to go, and it turns out that there were some clashes, because I'm sitting computer science with maths, which means I'm basically doing a joint degree, so it's a bit of an issue. But I did manage to sort stuff out with someone else that I met, which I'm gonna call Ketchup. That's not her name. But yeah, both of us did the same subjects, and we talked for a bit, and then we had another induction session together, because we both did computer science and maths. The first session was for computer science, the second one was for maths, so yeah, there I met a bunch of other people, actually. I'm gonna call one of the guys Guitar, and then there's Airplane. So Guitar and Airplane. Guitar is basically a tall blonde guy. He was really cool. And Airplane's basically a short girl. She's cool. I just realized I was just talking about height there. You can already tell that I'm very good at describing things. And these were not even the last people I'd met that day. But yeah, we had a couple interesting things. Like, we had a taster session in another lecture hall, which quite frankly looked so much better than the first one. But even the first one was kind of cool. And honestly, the maths team at my uni is so interesting. Like, they all look really interesting. They've all got their own different accents. I don't think anyone from the maths team came from the UK, so I think it's really cool because, I like trying to understand different accents. And since I started working, it's something I've been surrounded by a lot. So something I've gotten quite used to, and something I really like. I don't know, just English accents can get boring really quickly because they all sound the same. I think that's why American accents are kind of interesting, because different areas in America have different accents. So I find it really interesting whenever I hear one. Though, quite frankly, in my opinion, Australian accents are where it's at. Those are so good. Anyway, enough about accents. We finished that lecture, and we had a group induction session. And that's where I basically was in the same group as Airplane, Ketchup, and Airplane. I said Airplane twice, didn't I? I meant Guitar. And there I met a couple other people. I forgot their names anyway, so no point codenaming them. I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna bother. And then I had lunch, and I was initially planning on just sitting there editing a video or two. But I ended up just, as soon as I took out my sandwich, and then I was about to take out my laptop, I saw Rango in the distance, walking in my direction. I don't think he saw me yet, but he was walking with Weeb. So this was the first time I'd seen Weeb, and that was kind of cool. Like, Weeb also does computer science and maths. Rango doesn't, but and neither does Hamburger. But it was really cool because, well, we were talking on Discord for a bit over the last day or so. So, we got to kind of know each other, but then we obviously met in person, which was kind of cool. And yeah, we just sat there for a while, then Rango went to sort something out with his application, because, I don't know, something to do with this course, and it was kind of cool. And then we went to our last session, which was basically meeting our personal tutors, which is basically, how in schools you have a form tutor. I'm not sure how it works in other countries, but in the UK you have a form tutor, and in some cases you have, like, a personal guidance person or something. I had one at my old college, so that was something I was kind of familiar with. But yeah, she was really nice. I'm gonna call her Ferrari. I've gotten kind of good at detecting accents, and I can proudly say that she had a Portuguese accent. Anyways, Ferrari was really cool. She was really into it as well, and I met 2 more people there. Well, technically 3, but the third guy literally arrived in the last 2 minutes of the session, so I practically didn't know him. So the first guy I'm gonna call Robo, and then there was a girl called Car. That's not her name. This is too fun. Yeah, so basically I made a dozen friends somehow within my first day. Maybe a bit less, but I may have missed a couple people that I might have talked to here and there. I mean, I did, now that I think of it. But it's fine. They weren't people I really, like, talked a whole lot with. It's just people I walked with when we were told the wrong lecture hall location. But it was kind of cool, and quite frankly, it was a cool experience just going to uni so far. And I honestly cannot wait for the rest of my experience. I am going to be making some videos on Zach Says, talking about, you know, some advice I'd give to uni students from a uni student. So, you know, that's going to be useful. Speaking of Zach Says, are you subscribed to it? That channel is at like 150 subscribers now. It would be really cool if we got it to 200 by the end of the year. I don't really care much about subscribers there, though, and I am going to try my best to upload more on there, but I need to finish pre-recording all of my videos for this channel first, because this channel is a priority, and those videos basically take the same amount of effort to make, which, quite frankly, isn't much. I just want to try and get everything out as soon as possible on this channel, though, because this channel is kind of a bit more of a burden compared to that one. So, you know, the sooner I get rid of it, the longer my break will last, and, yeah, the happier I'll be. Anyways, I made a fun video here on screen now. Go watch it, and I hope you have a great day.